E360 TV proudly presents Messages of Inspirational Stories TV show. Live streaming now to millions of devices around the world on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Android TV, YouTube Live, Facebook live streaming. Our shows are available video on demand on these channels. And we broadcast daily, Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time on these channels. On Mondays, Expanding Your Business. Tuesdays, Finding Health Naturally. Wednesdays, Mentoring Our Youth. Thursdays, Pets We Love. And on Fridays, Women in Leadership. Brought to you by our producers and hosts, Jimgrant and donnaguinouard. Along with our host, Beatasewerynreid and Emersonbrantley. Supported by our admin team of Michaela Vidal and Gaia Guinois Balconi Weda. And welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. The Messages of Inspirational Stories is proudly brought to you by the good guys at the 6minutewebinar.com. And I'd just like to take a moment and talk about the 6minutewebinar.com. You can see the email or the website address there on the marquee. The 6-minute webinar enables you to communicate one single thing directly to your ideal client, regardless of what your product or what your service is or whatever you're offering, whether it's counseling, doesn't matter. Your ideal client wants to know if you can help them overcome that problem that they came to see you about. And the 6-minute webinar does that. It gives you an introduction, it gives you a body, it gives you a close, and it gives you a call to action all within 6 minutes. And what's really valuable about that for you is the fact that we've all experienced, seeing, an ad or getting an email in and something sounds interesting and you click on it and the person putting on the webinar, they go on for 15 or 20 minutes about what the problem is. If you didn't understand what the problem is, you wouldn't be there in the first place. Or if you weren't curious about, solving the problem, you certainly would not be there. And the 6-minute webinar, we're going to be doing some specials on that. And we'll be sharing some more information about it. But the 6-minute webinar, whenever you make your very first one, you can make, it's kind of like having a recipe. Once you have the recipe, you can make it over and over and over again. But again, you want to talk about one particular topic and one particular topic only. And I've got to give a shout out to Stephanie Dwayne. Stephanie Dwayne was with us in Phoenix when the need got born for the 6-minute webinar without me and Don McGrath even knowing about it. What happened was that we were supposed to have more people there than what we anticipated. And we did not get the promotions and all that we were expecting. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, Don came up to me and he says, Jim, let's give everybody a chance to get on stage and just do a 6-minute presentation. And we said, okay. I said, okay, yeah, that sounds great. And we gave everybody a chance and it worked popped like popcorn on a hot stove. It really did. And Stephanie Dwayne went back to Florida and Don went back to Colorado. I came back to Texas and she kept asking me and Don, when are you going to do some more of that 6-minute talk that we did? She says, I've been using that since I came back because she's a clinical hypnotist. And we've had Stephanie on again before, and we're going to have her on again. And I see that Emerson is backstage there. I'll bring him on board in just a moment. But Stephanie said, in the old days, I used to stand there and talk about how I can help people with this, how I can help people with that, and I can help people with the other. And it just, people don't want to hear everything. They want to hear what you can do for them. So when she got ready to speak, she found out what the audience was, kind of like what they're about, what their interests are. And she tailor-made her presentation for 15 minutes using the 6-minute presentation that we taught her out there. And she made several sales. And one lady came up to her and asked her point blank, "Who is your speaking coach?" That's how effective it is. You're going to sound like a subject matter expert, and you're going to be light years above the rest of the people out there. That when you see their webinars, and we're all familiar with them, where they go on and on and on, and they want to give you 25 minutes of testimony, and I'm exaggerating a little bit, but they give you so much over information that you just need to go through it like that. And the 6-minute webinar will really help you there. And I see that Emerson has finally made it into I don't want to say finally made it into the studio. He's been trying to get in. We're talking about AI today. And evidently the AI hadn't been working too well. Let's add Mr. Emerson to the show here. Let's welcome him, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Emerson, how you doing? Hey, you got your mic muted there, brother.
Well, I'm getting feedback, and I don't know why, Jim. Are you hearing it?
Yes.
Okay.
I hear you.
Give me just a couple minutes more. I have no idea what's going on.
Okay. Try using a mic or a little headset or whatever instead of the speakers. That may help you. Anyway, I'll just I'll let you go ahead and work on that, and we'll be right and we'll bring you right back. Just let me know when you're ready. But also, too, I've got to give a shout out to my good friend, Mr. Bill Heinrich, The 7 Levels of Truth. This book here is a great book for anyone that really needs, everyone, I think, including myself, we really need this book. And Bill at the very top says it best. Now, I want you to just key in on this. And I'm just going to share this with you from the back cover up there. It says, this book is for anyone seeking answers, solutions, and success in life. That's everybody, right? Your birthright. Now, I want you to hone in on that. Your birthright is for you to enjoy abundance, love, peace, and joy. And the 7 Levels of Truth will allow you to achieve all of these results in your life. That's a pretty powerful book. It really is. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about AI, and Emerson's got some great information he's going to share with you. And just give me a thumbs up when you're ready. I can see you there, Emerson, and when you're ready to come back on. I remember back in the 50s, when I was a kid, I used to love reading the Dick Tracy comics. And I used to think, wow, how neat would it be to have a radio watch? Because he would talk to the station, the police station, through a speaker on his watch. And I thought, wow, that'd really be neat. But in reality, when it comes to AI, artificial intelligence, it has come in so quickly that it's no longer a futuristic concept, but it's actually become a very integral part of our day. And it's also made us very, very lazy too, because we'll get talking about something and we'll want to know the answer to something, and hey, Google, or hey, Siri, or what's the other one? Alexa. And, show me something about, or tell me something about this. And this is what I found. And it really is a spoiler for us, because in the old days, we wanted to find out something, we had to go to a dictionary or encyclopedia, and kind of like the old yellow pages, let our fingers do the walking through the yellow pages. And Emerson, are you think you're ready to come back yet, brother? Or? Well, we can try and see. There he is. Hey, Emerson, are you still getting feedback? I hear something in the background.
Is there 150 social media accounts out there? My gosh, I guess it could be with people having businesses and things like that.
I might have
you got something else running?
Jim, This is
Huh?
this is not a this is one of those great technical seminars that we've talked about.
Yep. Yep. But what do you have running?
I'm going to come in through another entire computer.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay. That sounds good. That sounds good, brother. I tell you, technology is great when it works. But when it comes to AI, it really is a wonderful, wonderful thing. You know, I love the GPS on my phone. I really do. Now, when I'm going somewhere, I will double check the GPS because sometimes it will take you, you know, in the out of a little bit out of the way, or maybe not the best route. So I'm the one that makes the final decision on that, especially. And when you talk about Siri, it doesn't need any kind of introduction because it is one of the most popular AI powered apps that we have. It's Apple's intelligent voice assistant integrated, and it's on all of the Apple devices on the iOS platform. And Siri is just something that, hey, Siri, you know, and you just blurt out what it is that you want to know. And same is true with Amazon Alexa. And I know that there's also Google Assistant. And I'm trying to think. There are others here, and I'm not familiar with them. ELSA, ELSA, stands for English Language Speech Assistant. I've never heard of that before, ladies and gentlemen. And it's a powered app, AI powered app designed to help users improve their English pronunciation and fluency. And I remember there was a website that I went to, how to pronounce names or something like that, or how to pronounce words or whatever. And it would give you a digital pronunciation of the word that you're trying to, you know, pronounce. And then I see ones called Cortana, Cortana. And it says, if you ever wish for a personal assistant to help you manage your busy schedule and set reminders or answer your questions, Cortana, Cortana, it's an AI-powered digital assistant, and it's brought on by Microsoft. And it's very versatile. It's a virtual assistant that can be accessed on numerous platforms and devices, including Android devices, iOS devices, which is Apple devices, the Invoke smart speaker, Alexa, Microsoft Band, Windows 10, Windows Mobile, Windows Mixed Reality. I've never heard of that, and Xbox One. And it just really is amazing how all of this technology is available at our fingertips to serve us. And like I said before, it's definitely going to spoil you. There's no question about that. And let's see, Emerson, are you back yet? Are you still putting quarters in that thing? Emerson, can you hear me?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Testing one. Audio.
Hey,
good.
you sound good. You sound good, Emerson.
Speakers test.
You got to trust that AI, Emerson. But Emerson, earlier today, we were talking, and he says, Jim, we need to talk about AI because he's done a lot of research on that. And once he gets his quarters in there and gets the thing going, we're going to, I see. He's got, let's see. Let's put, Emerson, can you hear me?
I hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can. Let me do something here. Let's see here. Now, let's try something else. Can you hear me okay? He had two cameras going. He was in the studio twice, so I closed out one and he closed out the second one. That he's gone, so he's got to come back in. This is a fun show. But he sent me a list of what's called an AI master list. And when it comes to, on this list, it's got everything from ads to affiliate store, aging images. Wow. AP app building, icons, training, The list just goes on and on. I mean, this thing, I don't know how long it is. It's all alphabetical as far as whether you're looking for an avatar or if you're looking to do audio transcriptions or whatever you want to do there. I mean, it's just simply amazing. But when it comes to the AIs, I want to get back into that. There was another one that came up. I've never heard of it. How many of you folks out there in TV land have actually heard of Socratic, Socratic? It's a homework and studying. It says homework and studying can be challenging, but when you have an AI-powered tutor to help you tackle those tough questions. It was developed by Google. It's an innovative app designed to assist students in understanding complex concepts across various subjects. Again, that's Socratic, Socratic. So some of you young folks out there, or maybe some of you parents or grandparents may know, you may have someone in your house there that needs a little bit of assistance as a student, because in the old days, like I say, we either had to go to the library, get out a dictionary, or we never had encyclopedias in our house, but it's just amazing. And here is another one I've never heard of. In fact, there's several, and I'm just going to, just go over these a little bit in case, let's see if Emerson is back yet. Hey, Emerson, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello, I hear you.
Yay. Ain't
Yay.
technology grand.
49 times the charm. Emerson, I was just going over.
This is exactly why we need AI, Jim.
That's right. Yeah. I'll settle for artificial intelligence because I don't have any at all. But no, I'm going over the top 10. I'm just hitting some highlights here.
Okay.
And
you go right ahead.
The top 10 AIs, of course, we started out, and I'm going to go over the list real quickly, just to recap for Emerson's benefit. Everybody's heard of Siri, Siri, and it's on the iOS devices, Amazon Alexa, and of course, Google Assistant. And we all know how great these things are, how convenient they are, and how easy they are to spoil us. Also, ELSA, ELSA, that's the English Language Speech Assistant. And it's designed to help users improve their pronunciation of words and also fluency of the language. And then we saw Cortana. We went over that. And Cortana is a personal assistant, helps you set up your busy schedule. It will remind you and ask you questions and just do all sorts of things, just like a VA would, I guess you might say. And it's available on many, many platforms: Android, iOS, Invoke Smart Speaker, Alexa, Microsoft Band, Windows 10, Windows Mobile, Windows Mixed Reality, and Xbox One. And then we got into Socratic. I believe that's Socratic, Socratic. That is the AI-powered tutor that will help young people in their studies on a wide variety of subjects. So you might want to make a note of that. And then this one here, this is where we got to Replika. I've never heard of this before. A lot of these I haven't heard of, to be honest with you. That's Replika. And it's a powered chatbot. Chatbot, a chatbot. It's designed to be your companion, your
That's
conversation.
An important word for everybody is chatbot.
Oh, yeah. It's designed to be
word for everybody to remember. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because it's not only the future, it's here now. And it's a companion, it's conversational partner. And that sounds kind of interesting. It's designed to learn about you and provide an empathetic and engaging communication experience. Sometimes, Emerson, let's talk about that a moment. Sometimes we all need someone to listen to us, but sometimes we don't feel comfortable in sharing something with that individual. But this Replika, it might be an outlet for some people, especially some people who are very sensitive about themselves.
It sounds a little creepy to some people, and
yeah, mm-hmm.
I really don't want to let that become a thing,
a barrier.
But when one of the differences between working with, say, Chat GPT or any of these,
mm-hmm.
is to try to get into the conversational mode, like you're talking to an individual, and to have the same kind of, openness. We're used to just typing in, picture of girl on beach, if we want a picture in Google to come up. But with a program like ChatGPT, and ChatGPT, for everybody who's not familiar with it, it's right now on the leading edge, so much so that Microsoft just spent billions of dollars in order to incorporate the ChatGPT program behind their Office and their Microsoft Edge and all of those things.
Wow.
Different aspects. So
that's huge.
It's changing a lot of things. And if you're not, right on top of all of that that's happening, it's easy to get lost in it. I mean, look, Jim, I don't remember how many years it took for the telephone to reach 1 million people. Let's forget the telephone and the TV. Let's go to say Netflix. It took 3.5 years for Netflix to reach 1 million users. 1 million. Okay. It took Instagram about 2.5 months. You know how long it took ChatGPT? 5 days.
Wow.
To reach 1 million users, and today they have over 100 million users.
It's huge.
This is a sea change, and it's not just a new cool technology. It's all of the things that we'd like to have available to be able to do. It's changing search. One of the reasons Google actually has been ahead of the game on this, but they kept holding back on their AI programming because they make most of their money in search. And Google, and there's always that tug of war, Jim. We have new technology that comes in on top of the way that things have been done.
The old standard, yeah.
And even Google held back on that. Look, think about Kodak.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Kodak invented digital cameras. Years before anybody else. But they held back on the technology. Why?
Because they sell the film.
They made their money on film. Exactly. And if when we're thinking in that kind of way, that's thinking from a place of lack, really, is what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
And you've had those conversations on your show before, Jim, about thinking in abundance and thinking in lack. But ChatGPT is built under an open AI programming group, and they didn't let those kinds of things jump in the way of finding out what the technology could do. And there's some concerns about it. Sure, there are. There's concerns in the academic and educational sector. There are concerns about it from misinformation, fake news kinds of issues. There are all sorts of issues that we're going to have to address with the technology, but the technology is not going away. No.
I was going to ask you during the broadcast, it just came to my mind. This chat PDT, I've just learned about it here in the last few months, I think 2 or 3 months, something like that. It hadn't been long anyway. And how much of a part, if any now, how much of a part did the pandemic, the lockdown of 2020, how much of that contributed to us to be able to communicate more effectively with AI? Or do you know, or did it have any input at all?
All of this was happening. It was all in the works before COVID. Now, Chat GPT really, the big launch is considered as November 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Although there were some earlier limited levels of it being tested and launched, but in November 2022, it really became generally available. Well, we were kind of at the tail end of the worst of COVID around that time, but a lot of people were still at home. So yeah, that could have had an effect on it. But I think from the standpoint of, I think the bigger effect there, Jim, are all of the people who were distant working and distant learning and remote, and the change in office structure and needing to have people to go into the office 5 days a week and a lot of those other changes, some of them social changes, but a lot of that was all happening at the same time. Artificial intelligence has been being worked on for quite a while.
Oh yeah, yeah,
for quite a while.
Yeah, and it's been amazing because I remember the first GPS things they had in the rental cars, and the way they would talk to you and all that, and you're supposed to be going down the interstate there, and you see an exit, you go like, I need to make a pit stop. And so I remember
recalculating route.
Recalculating route. Turn around here, and I used to get the biggest kick out of that, And
I was on a trip from Memphis, Tennessee from Nashville, Tennessee to Memphis, Tennessee. I was doing work. I was doing work. This is one of the first times I was doing work with the VFW and with Walmart, and I had to go over to Memphis because I was doing work with Graceland and with the Presley people and everything, right? And so I'm driving from Nashville to Memphis. Okay. I think it's about 4 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm in Tennessee, and I can't find Memphis, Tennessee in my GPS.
Wow.
So I called Susie Q back then. I couldn't find, I found Memphis this and Memphis that, and Memphis the other. And I finally I pulled over to the side of the road and called the 800 number. And they said, what mile marker are you at? I said, what mile marker? I think this was exit, 161. They said, okay, drive about 7 miles and restart it. I said, what? They said, you're in the crossover area. I said, what are you talking about? But I didn't understand.
The gray area.
Yeah, I was in that gray area. These satellites are in fixed positions around the Earth, and there's crossover areas.
Yes.
And I was in that gray area, and I couldn't find Memphis, Tennessee. And I'm looking at road signs telling me that I'm heading for Memphis, Tennessee. So there are always things. I tell that to say this: there are always things in technology that are not unanticipated, results and things like that.
Oh yeah.
And there are bad actors that get involved in them. We know that.
Yeah.
AI is no different. Now, in some ways, AI may have much more of an impact on our life than the internet, than social media, than bad news, fake news, bots planted, and everything else that we've been trying to navigate through. Because AI takes the very best that we find, or that it finds, that we challenge it to find, and it puts out the results. And if you remember, Jim, the old garbage in, garbage out, the old GIGO thing with early computers.
Yeah.
Well, largely with AI, what we ask it to do, they're called prompts. That's an important word, everybody. What we ask it to do, it's going to do.
Oh, yeah.
We have to be the ones who are very careful and clear and precise in exactly what we want, because that's what you're going to get.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it, because that's the artificial intelligence. It can only feed back what you put into it.
Yes.
And as you were talking about bots there, it reminded me of something. When I first started my radio show on TogiNet, and I saw the downloads and all of that, and I saw these downloads coming up, and I'm going like, how did I get picked up on all these different places? And the engineer, or the programming guy there, he sent Jim those there's bots come in there, and they're looking for good shows. And I said, what's a bot? I had never heard of that before, and he explained it to me. And
short for robot, right?
Yep.
Yep.
I'm a online robot, exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And
it's like, what's a blog? It's a web log.
Exactly. And what these little bots were trained to do, they were trained to go to bigger platforms. And if they saw, my show on bigger podcast platforms, if the little bots say, hey, this has got to be good. So they would grab my show and they would take it back to their home where they came from, kind of like a homing pigeon. And my show would pop up on another smaller podcast. And it makes sense. When I say a smaller podcast, I'm talking about a podcast platform. And Radio Public was one that comes to mind that picked me up. And I remember there was one individual, I could tell they were a small operation. And I just sent them an email thanking them for picking up my show. I thought it was mighty nice. They picked it up and it's on their platform. And I just want to say thanks, because I realize it's a win-win situation for them. It's a win-win situation for me, and say thanks. And and I'm going to admit something here. This shows you how smart and intelligent I am. After I surpassed 2 million downloads on my radio show, this same small company told me that I need this small platform I need to pay to become an active member. And I remember I wrote him back and I says, don't take this the wrong way, but I think you need me more than I need you. A little bit of ego in there, and also sprinkled with some ignorance, but I said it because it was just the way it hit me.
And it was a changing world,
Yeah,
it was a changing world, and what they was following at that time, and most of them still do. But what they were following at that time was basically the old print, newspaper, magazine thing. You want to be promoted, then here's our rate card, right, Jim?
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm going to give everybody another site, if that's okay, Jim.
Sure, please do.
Because there's a lot of misinformation about AI out there. And the name of this site, everybody put it down, is your YOUR, your AI .pro, PRO. Your AI .pro. Okay. And what a good friend of ours, Mike Lewis, I've been working with him to help put this together. But what this site is, it's updated daily, sometimes several times a day, with exactly the things that are happening in this world, in AI. Okay, the programs and the things, the ways that it's being used, the ways that it's helping small businesses and individuals, the way academia is changing. There's so many different things going on. So this site is designed to bring in the real deal. So you're able to begin to see it and understand it and kind of wrap your head around it.
Mhm.
In fact, Jim, you mentioned at the beginning of this 8 or 10 top AI
Right.
companies. When you go to this site,
Is that it there? I got it on the
yeah,
marquee.
you got it. AI, yeah, your AI.pro. When you go to this site right now, there's actually a web class that you can get for free. It's about a 2-hour class, okay? But it is detail oriented. It's not designed for technicians, okay, or geeks, or whatever you want to call them. It's designed for real people like you and me, and small business owners like both of us, to try to see all of the different ways that you can take and apply this right now. Not in science fiction kind of a thing, but right now in your business, and the value add, and there actually are case histories included in there, and other things. Now, I'm going to tell everybody right now that that the purpose behind that particular video was for a good friend of mine and Mike's that's creating kind of an omnibus program for small businesses, and it feeds into a crowdfunding program. I'm just letting everybody know that. The key is there's a couple of hours of just meaty, solid information and case histories and studies and things for business people to help you understand what all this fuss is about. So
was that webinar?
And even if you don't do that, opt into that site, because that way you'll get a constant update as far as what's going on with artificial intelligence. And there's no cost for that.
Yeah,
there's no cost for any of that.
Was that the webinar you were going to attend the other day, and you sent me a link? And okay, I wasn't able to make it, but yeah, definitely go there, ladies and gentlemen. And we're
I
very
think they're
happy.
doing a replay. I think they're doing a replay on it.
Yeah, we're very happy to be able to put their website up. They're not affiliated with us. They don't pay us anything, but we're very happy to be able to help you folks out there in TV land. We share information. That's what our show's all about. And Emerson, I'd like to say, he is a board member with the U.S. Green Chamber of Commerce. You can go to the usgreenchamberofcommerce.com, go to About, look up board members, and you'll see Emerson's smiling face there. You can also visit Emerson on his website, web3direct.com, as you see there on the marquee. And Emerson owed me a cup of coffee for that, so we'll take care of that later. When I come down to Jacksonville and see you, we'll have a cup of coffee together, brother.
Tell you what, I'll brew one for you myself.
Wow, that's big time there. We were together in Tomball,
Texas,
when Marty Hager was there, and we spoke the other day about those comfortable boots that he had with grounding and earthing. And if you missed that show Tuesday, please go back and get it, because it's very, very, very important. A lot of good health information there. But anyway, we were all staying at this big Airbnb, and it was a real nice place, very clean and very comfortable. And we learned an important lesson. Don't go to the supermarket when you're hungry.
Boy, didn't we?
I mean to tell you,
Holy cow.
We were walking around in there in that nice supermarket. We were all drooling like a pack of hound dogs. But we ate very, very well. But you know, Emerson, when it comes to this AI stuff, I'm really glad, and I'm going to put that link up again.
Yeah.
Your
AI.pro, not .com.
Yeah.
Your AI.pro.
I'm really glad that someone out there has enough intelligence that they're going to be able to communicate and share, the grassroots reality about AI with everyday people. Because a lot of times we go to webinars like this and we're talking to, someone that's very technical oriented. And I've dealt with some of the technical guys, and when you're talking to a person that's really highly trained in technical areas, they have a tendency to hit the white caps going across the lake. And you go like, whoa, wait a minute. You did what? Where? How did you do that? Well, and why would I do that? I want to know, that sort of thing. And
I call that geeking out. They geek out on you.
oh yeah. And it only takes about 3 shakes of a lamb's tail to leave me in the dust on them deals.
The thing that's important, it's hard to separate the wheat from the chaff.
Mm-hmm,
And anytime that you're in, I'm going to say this. I've been in marketing for my entire adult life, basically.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult when you're in the midst of a social trend, something that's shifting and changing the way that we've done stuff before. It's very difficult when you're in the midst of that to be able to know. There goes Jim every time we do it. Holy cow.
He's a member of
I muted it again. Here we go.
He thought he was a member of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. He's also a member of the A-Team. A lot of you young folks may not know, but that is the theme song for the A-Team back in the 80s TV show.
Well, because of all the problems that we were having, I was reaching out to Jim, and Jim was reaching out to me there at the beginning of the show, and I guess I just left it on. But when you're in the midst of something that is transitioning our culture, our society, the way we do things, it's awfully hard to separate the wheat from the chaff, if you will, as far as what's real, what's not, what do I need to be paying attention to, what do I not need to be paying attention to. And we both have been through multiple transitions like this.
Oh yeah.
That really shook things up. My first online marketing was in 1993. At that time, there were a couple of they called them they were green card lawyers, and their big thing was if you hit one button, you can hit 40 million people, which was way over the top. But nobody knew what you could and couldn't do. And if I could have had a site like this one, this AI, your AI.pro. If I could have had a site like that one at that time, the way that I could have wrapped my head around what it meant to me, what it meant to my life, what it meant to my family, what it meant to my students, to my children, to my company. What does this mean in terms of health? What does this mean in terms of entertainment? What does this mean in terms of search? What does this mean in terms of all of these different aspects of our lives? It would have shortened that cycle so much.
Oh, yeah.
And that was the purpose behind this site. And it's a good one. It's a good one.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait to look at it, some more. But also,
and I encourage everybody, by the way, and I don't know how long it'll be up because these things come and they go, but the web class that's being promoted there on the homepage, it was for a crowdfunding program, but the web class that it leads you to is the media solid, just good information for average people, to be able to understand this.
Emerson, I'm looking at this spreadsheet that you sent me earlier on all of these AI apps. And ladies and gentlemen, on this spreadsheet he sent me, I just scrolled all the way down. There's 1,749 different apps. Wow. And there is, I don't know how many here. Let's see.
Well, they're on writing, they're on medicine, they're on music, they're on gaming, they're on recipes. There's everything imaginable.
Website building. WhatsApp, and well-being and voice changing and
gift ideas,
voice acting, and let's see here.
Hairstyles,
surveys,
anything, crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Email writing.
Yeah, how to look and sound intelligent.
Writing.
Yeah, how to look and sound intelligent. I'm going to tell you, look at those. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. But speech and text, social media. My goodness gracious, apps.
Speech to video, video to speech.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of different things.
Where did you find that particular spreadsheet at? Do you remember?
You know, and I'm going to give credit where credit is due. That video that I was talking about that's on our homepage, it leads to the about a 2-hour video that was for that crowdfunding launch that a good friend of ours, Mike Vilsay, who founded the Marketers Cruise. Those who've watched the show before have heard me talk about that, the Marketers Cruise. But it's a program that he's putting together, and he was doing a crowdfunding for it. And in the process of that, began building this spreadsheet. So it's anybody who wants the spreadsheet, will make sure that you get it. If you go to yourai.pro and click through and take a look at that web class, you'll get it right there too. So we'll make sure that you get it. And it is it's an over-the-top view of all of so many different things that you wouldn't even imagine, and categorized by what does it do. It generates images. It generates text. It does text to video. It does graphic arts. It does recipes. On and on and on and on. And these programs, each one of them being folks, I don't make any money if you go and click on one of them and decide that you want to use those programs. This is an incredible list. And Jim doesn't either. This is an incredible list, an incredible resource. So when you go to that yourai.pro and opt in, we'll make sure that you get it. And if you see the video, you'll get it for sure.
Yeah. And also too, ladies and gentlemen, if you by chance, you can email us here at the studio.
You can do that. Yes.
inspiratione360tv.com. Our staff will get it. That's our personal email
just straight
here
to
at the show.
Jim, I've already sent it to Jim. Jim will make sure that you get it.
Oh yeah, we certainly will, because it's just too good not to share. It's a Google Doc.
Exactly.
And it's just a wonderful thing, because I'm just blown away with all this stuff. I really am, because I remember back in this, we were talking the other day, Emerson and I were, and I said, I remember back in, it was probably 96, 97, maybe 98 before I even wore a pager. And I mean, when I was out of pocket. No one knew where I was. There was no way. And many times I just stop at a phone booth and I guess put a dime or quarter in. I forget now how much it was. It used to be a dime maybe. And I
think it was a quarter by then, Jim.
It could have been. I don't recall. And I used to keep my coins, quarters, dimes, and nickels in one of these little boxes where you put the coins in and they got the springs in there. And one of my friends got in the truck with me. He says, Jim, what's that? And I said, that's a poor man's money clip. And I said, I don't want to carry a bunch of stuff in my pocket. And sometimes if I'm, going somewhere, and I was always on the road going, if I wanted to, if I saw something in the vending machine, I wanted to get something to eat or something real quickly, I got it. And my wife kept it recharged for me.
A lot of the viewers may not, why in the world did you need to have a pager if you had a cell phone anyway? Well, when I got my first, they called them the brick, the old Motorola brick. When I got my first cell phone, folks, it was like, I'm going to say $3 a minute.
Oh yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
And then they changed it to where you had 100 minutes a month or 60 minutes a month or some ridiculous number like that. And you were paying an astronomical amount of money, but you could get these little pagers, and I think they were about $15 or $25 a month. And so someone could page you their number with a little simple message, and then you could go to a phone and call them, a landline.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And that was why pagers just went bonzo. They were everywhere. Everybody had a pager on their belt.
Oh yeah. And I remember one time I went over to Louisiana, and a person called me. This is after I got my cell phone. It was a Motorola Teletac. It was a big thing and worked very well. But it was with the GTE network, and I had 250 minutes of talk time. Plus they added roaming charges, because once I left my area, the long distance charges would
Oh
kick in.
boy.
And so a person called me and I says, let me get back with you in about 10 minutes. He said, okay. So as soon as I drove across from Louisiana back into Texas, I was in my area. So I picked up the phone and called him, and I got the bill in. And for that 1 minute, they charged me almost $7 in roaming fees.
That's crazy.
So that's why pagers were so huge and so popular.
And that's old technology. And a lot of the things that we've come to know in search and in research and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of the stuff that we've come to know, this changes the whole face of it. I encourage everybody to do whatever you need to do to find out some of the information about it. Be knowledgeable about it. And, be knowledgeable and understand, because whether or not you say, okay, I don't want anything to do with AI, you can't avoid it. You're going to be talking to AI. Hear this, people. You're going to be talking to AI when you call into customer service, and you won't even know it. Yeah. You'll be dealing with AI when you're trying to overcome some issue on a website, and you're doing chat, and you think you're chatting to somebody. Where are you located at? Are you in the Philippines? It's like, no, you're talking to artificial intelligence. Understand it. You don't have to make it, you don't have to make it into something that your life or your business totally is wrapped up in. Understand the power, and it's powerful. It's powerful good, it's powerful bad, but the power of it and the difference that it makes. So again, that site yourai.pro, it keeps you up to date daily on what's happening in medicine. The thing, oh my gosh, the stuff in gym, we don't even have time to talk about the stuff, the things they're doing in medicine with AI, and understanding how they're able to take complex computations and things and create what they need, new lines of code that would have taken weeks or months or years for programmers to do. All the things that, holy cow. And we can keep going on and on. We'll make sure Jim will send you the list, or we'll send you the list.
I'll just say, I'll say this here too, Emerson. There on the marquee is Emerson's web address, web3 at web3direct.com. And just go to his website there at web3direct.com. I got a little bit of a frog in my throat or something. And
we want you to be informed.
Oh, yeah. Because use it to your advantage. You don't have to. That's the key. Use this to your advantage to free you up so that you can make more important decisions. Like who your favorite ball player might be, or what your favorite recipe is. My wife made a strawberry pie the other day. First time she ever made it, and it was one of her aunt's recipes that she had to give to her when she was a little girl. And she said it stored away and forgot about it. She found it. She made it. Strawberry pie. My goodness. So if you're interested in that, just let us know. But I was going to ask you this, Emerson. Based on everything we've talked today, I know we've just hit the surface. Would you like to do a follow-up on this and do some more on AI, or you want to?
Oh, yeah. I think we can do more than one, because folks, I don't know how many hundreds of different programs and sites are in that list that Jim was mentioning for you.
There was 1,749 on that list.
But they're growing every day, and it's not changing. I mean that's not going to change. So I think we can do more than one show, Jim. Do maybe one every week or so. I don't know. But
okay, let's plan on that for next Thursday. We'll just
I think that'd be great.
And also, too, ladies and gentlemen, on that 1,749, I saw that they may have 50 apps for one topic. and we'll be more than happy to get that spreadsheet to you. But my point being is that on one of them, on one topic, it was like Reddit, it only had one app for it. So it could vary. So, but there is a lot of information out there.
We keep updating that site too.
Wow.
Or that list. So that's why, the whole idea, again, going back to the yourai.pro, Jim, the whole idea was having a place that's working to separate the wheat from the chaff. Okay.
There you go.
That's the end of it. It's just, okay, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Okay, yeah.
That site updates not just daily, sometimes by the hour.
Yeah.
So
well,
there's a lot of stuff going on. And people are trying stuff, introducing stuff, testing stuff. And we wanted to make it into like a clearinghouse that would do some of that separation of the wheat and the chaff, and kind of people could go, oh, okay, that's interesting. Oh, I don't need that. Oh, that's not for me. Oh, okay. Like I did a call just the other day, Jim, on 3D printing of houses and how AI is changing that. I know we have to get off because we're running out of time here.
Yeah,
we'll
we
have
really
to do
are.
another show.
We'll be back next week, same time, same station, and hopefully we won't have any artificial intelligence getting on here, with problems, but we'll get there. Be sure and share the show with others. We'll be back. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. On behalf of Emerson and myself, we sincerely hope that you and your loved ones are healthy, happy, and blessed in all areas of your